For the last several years, they have been doing a major reconstruction, major reconfiguration of the main artery between the interstate and downtown Clarion. It's been done in phases. And what I've noted is that it has brought out an enormous amount of armchair engineers and highway supervisors. They all seem to know how the project should be done. And the place where they pay particular attention is the backup that happens as the construction is going on. They all seem to have ways to deal with it, but mostly they just complain. I found myself in one of those backups the other day, and I found myself complaining, muttering under my breath, just because that seems to be what you're supposed to do. Well, and then I remembered a conversation I had with my grandmother years ago. We were stuck in traffic in a major highway project, and instead of complaining, she started to notice everything that was going on around her. Look at that! Can you imagine the preparation that it took to get to that point? This is just awesome what they're able to do these days. It gave me pause. And I stopped complaining and started to look around at the intricacy of the project. It was pretty amazing. My grandmother was right. The one thing I remember most, though, about that conversation we had was a word that she said as we were just beginning to move again. This is just amazing. They are bringing the mountains down and raising the valleys up. And it will all be level soon. I'm not sure whether my grandmother knew she was quoting from the prophets. Knowing my grandmother, she probably did. But it was an interesting image, a comparison. For the prophets had foretold, had tried to get the people in exile ready for the highway that God was building for them. Prepare the way for a highway in the desert. So the prophet said. But like us, they weren't real good about preparing. They liked more instantaneous gratification, just to get us home. And so it's no surprise that they weren't prepared when the time came to leave. In fact, many of them didn't leave. They had found a new home in Babylon. And those that did go back to Jerusalem found a mess that they were not prepared to deal with. It was not all that like the life we're living through these days, chaos and confusion on all levels of life, a total rebuild. They didn't do so well. They struggled. Fast forward a few centuries, and God sends another prophet. Prepare the way of the Lord, for God is about to do a new thing. He is sending his Son. They weren't any more ready then than we are now to receive him. What are we waiting for? The preparation is living into the kingdom. He's given us visions through the prophets, through his word, of what the world will look like. And believe me, it's a far cry from the world we're living in right now. Last week we talked about a peaceable kingdom, and the week before, a time when there would be no more war. Are we making ready for those days? Or are we just accelerating what we've been doing? It's a good question. It's a question that we need to ponder as we prepare to receive the one who is coming. Because whether or not we prepare, God is now preparing a new thing, a new day, a new way of living. And He's invited us into that new life, that we might have life and have it full and abundant.